Welcome back from an ad break. Now let us continue by looking at how to approach questions for paper 2. We are looking at this example, of which is question 4 and 5. It's adapted from Eastern Cape, November 2019. We are looking at question 4.1. Now, when a pizza is completed, the base has a diameter of 32 centimeters and a height of 12 millimeters. Write down the radius of one pizza base. So in this context, you need to understand what is a diameter, what is a radius, in order for you to be able to calculate the radius. So remember, a radius is the line from the center to the circumference of a circle, and the diameter, it could be a line that cuts a circle into half, or from line from the circumference through the center to the circumference. Now looking at this, we must find the radius. So a radius, we could use a formula that says diameter divided by 2. So according to this, we are given a diameter of 32 centimeters, and this will be divided by 2. So this will give us a radius of 16 centimeters. So this will be the half of this diameter. Then we move on to the next question. Calculate the volume of one pizza in millimeters. So now looking at the dimensions, we are given 16 centimeters and we are given 12 millimeters. So these are the dimensions that are given on the previous slide. So now we cannot work with two different units, so you'll have to convert, because now the question wants us to determine this volume in millimeters. So it simply means we are going to convert centimeters to millimeters. So how do we do that? We are going to multiply by 10. So 16 multiplied by 10, it gives us 160 millimeters. So now both our units are the same. Now we can go to our formula, substitute, and start working out. Now, having this formula, it says volume is equals to pi. The value of pi, it could be given to you on the question paper, but if it's not, just remember that the value of pi is 3,142. Then your r would be your radius, of which it has already been calculated, and h will be your height. Now let us continue substitution. We have v is equals to, v is for volume, pi, we have said the value is 3,142, and this will be multiplied by, we can put in brackets because now we are working with a square. Our r for radius is squared, so we are going to have 160 millimeters all squared, multiplied by our height, of which is 12 millimeters. So now we have substituted all our values. We work it out. Do not forget to square. Put in the square so that you find the correct value. So when you work that out, you're going to have 9,652,224 millimeter cube, because we are working with volume, and volume, remember, is a three-dimensional object or shape. We continue with question 4 and 5, again examples. The Department of Education is planning to build a hall for Beverly Hills High School. The following scale is shown on the architect plan of the school wall. So this is the scale that is shown. Looking at the question 4.1.4, what measurement is represented by the question mark? So looking at the scale, we can see that we have a question mark there. What measurement could be that? So it simply means we are going to find the difference between these three values or four values, including from our 0 meters to 2,02 meters. So the difference here, it could be from 0 meters to 0,5 meters. It could happen that we are adding 0,5. So now when you add a 0.5 here, you should get 1.5. Adding another 0.5, you should be getting 2.0. Then now this measurement here, it could be 1 meters. Why? Because from 0.5 you will add another 0.5 to get a 1, of which it will be this value in between. And when you continue adding 0.5, you will get 1.5. So your answer is going to be 1 meters. Question 4.1.2, what do we call this type of scale? Remember, we have two types of scales. So this one is a bar scale, or you can say it's a line scale. Then next question, use the scale of 1:10,000 to determine the actual length of the hole in meters if the length on the paper is measured to be 15 millimeters. So we are to use this given scale to calculate the length of the hole. So the scale given to us is 10,000. So we are going to take the 10,000 and multiply it with the length that is measured on paper, of which is 15 millimeters. So this will give us 150,000 millimeters. But the question said we must determine the length in meters. So it means from this unit, you need to convert your answer to meters. So you're going to divide by 1,000. So this will give us 150 meters. Right, let's continue with question 4 and 5 examples. This one is adapted from Gauteng Province 2019, and we will only be looking at question 4.2. The school principal bought a box of coffee for the staff that is enough to last the staff for a whole year. The tins of coffee are packed into a cardboard box with the given dimensions below. Study the diagram below and answer the questions that follow. So these are the dimensions that are given. We are given the dimensions of a box, and we are also given the dimensions of a tin of coffee that needs to be packed. Now the question says, determine the number of tins that can be packed in the cardboard box if tins are packed one on top of the other facing up. Now, firstly, we are going to look at the dimensions we are given. We can see that all the dimensions are given and they have the same units. So there's no need for us to convert anything. We are simply going to calculate our length, breadth, and height wise. Then, firstly, we are going to have our length. We are going to start with length. So we are going to say length wise. So we are going to have the length of a box being divided by the length of a tin. So now having those two dimensions, the length of a box would be 500 millimeters divided by the length of a tin, of which is 100 millimeters. Then secondly, we go to breadth. We are going to say breadth wise, we are going to take the breadth of a box divided by the breadth of a tin. So the breadth of a box would be 300 millimeters being divided by 100 millimeters. Then we are going to have our height. So we're going to have height wise. So with height, we are going to take the height of a box, divide by the height of a tin. So this would be 240 millimeters divided by 120 millimeters. meters. So now these are the dimensions that are given to us. So now we are going to work out our answers. So if we look at our lengthwise, 500 divided by 100, it will give us 5. Then breadth-wise, we have 300 divided by 100. We are going to have 3. Height-wise, we have 240 divided by 120, of which is going to be 2. Then we are going to work out the total number of tins that can be packed into this box by using these dimensions that we have calculated already. So we are going to have 5 times 3 times 2. Right, so now after working that out, you are going to have 30 tins. So that will be our final answer. Now we are going to take a quick ad break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.